Assemblyman Kolb, always great to have you on the show.
Always my pleasure, Jenny.
I'm sure that you've heard the Manhattan DEA is looking at offering a plea bargain to Meredith Graves. I'm not sure what kind of deal they're looking at, maybe a lesser charge, but do you think she should even face any kind of charges and have a criminal record?
No, I don't. Obviously, this is a bad idea from the get-go. Here's a law-abiding, registered firearm owner traveling from one state to another, sees a sign that says, you need no guns allowed at the 9/11 memorial. So she looks for a police officer to say, where do I check my firearm? And they point her over to a different direction, and then they eventually arrest her and charge her. And it's one of the most ridiculous things that here we're going after a law-abiding gun owner, firearm owner, versus really going after the real criminals in this country. And this is exactly what's wrong with our gun laws that exist currently in New York State and also throughout the country.
You know, and you look at it, there's a pattern developing, though, in New York. You've got law-abiding citizens from out of state getting caught up in these gun laws. There's Meredith's case. And then I'm also sure you've heard about this one, a former Marine, Ryan Jerome from Indiana. He was arrested when he asked to check his gun at the Empire State Building.
That's correct. And actually what all this has prompted me, I'm in the process of introducing legislation sometime probably within the next week or so to establish a recognition and reciprocal allowing of registered gun owners from outside New York State, from any state in our country that's been, a registered firearm and has a legal carry permit. And I'm going to introduce legislation to recognize that, and hopefully we'll push that in the legislative session this year.
I mean, when you look at the fact that Assemblyman Speaker Sheldon Silver is talking about making changes to gun laws, you've got to be pretty sure you got some good support for this bill you're going to push.
Well, I'm laughing, but I'm going. Has the world now standing on its ear? But the speaker basically said he's about having a hearing. I'm going right for the straight solution, which is to introduce a bill that will recognize a law-abiding firearm owner from outside the state that has a registered firearm and permit to carry, that we will recognize, and these laws would not be subject to them. And as I've stated in interviews I've done on this subject matter with the New York Post in New York City, is that it's the illegal guns that we should be worrying about, where crimes are committed, that we should be focusing in on with law enforcement and our judicial system, rather than, again, repetitively, the good United States citizen with a law-abiding gun permit or carry permit and registered firearm.
And, the more you hear about this, I mean, do you think this could backfire on Mayor Bloomberg and the other anti-gun politicians in New York who keep pushing these laws?
Well, I think so. Mayor Bloomberg is, his term will be over shortly. He will not be seeking re-election. But I also think that, quite frankly, we have to have a continued push at the national level with the federal government and Congress to put a bill in place that really would really replace any individual states that have these crazy laws, and basically have a right to carry and recognize a permit in every state in the nation. That the federal law would, obviously usurp any rogue state law or municipality that wants to restrict firearms to law-abiding gun owners.
And again, these kinds of cases, which are bad examples, I think, for gun laws, could obviously increase the support for what you're talking about, which is the National Right to Carry Reciprocity Bill, which right now is in Congress.
And I would tell you, I would love to see that bill passed. Certainly, I ask our congressional representatives, at least our congressional representatives. I don't know what Chuck Schumer or Kirsten Gillibrand's going to do, but certainly we should be advocating for them to have this reciprocity bill throughout the country.
Well, we're watching Congress. It'll be interesting to see what happens with your bill once that gets going. But I got to ask you, too, because you've got a very big event coming up soon. You do it every year with the help of the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, the Sportsman Legislative Awareness Day.
Yes, actually, we've got tremendous support from the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association and Scope, and folks that are members of the NRA, and that's coming in March 20th, 2012, right in the Legislative Office Building in the state capitol. This is our third annual event, which is the Sportsman and Outdoor Recreation Awareness Day, where, believe it or not, we actually celebrate outdoor sportsmen and sportswomen, the right to carry firearms, what they contribute to the economy. We have guest speakers. Wayne LaPierre has spoken, and other representatives of the NRA, and we're looking for another great event where we literally fill the hallway.
Yeah, you do. You get a heck of a turnout. It's a great turnout.
And we're very excited to have it again this year.
All righty. Well, thanks for taking the time. We'll stay in touch with you. We'll catch you up there, I'm sure, in March. And we'll also hopefully talk to you as your bill starts moving along.
Sounds terrific. And thanks again, and Happy New Year.